everyone. This is Srividya working as assistant professor in the department of CSIT. In the last session, we have seen structure declaration, initialization and accessing of structure members. In this session, I am going to cover the pointers to structure, array of structures, nested structures and self-referential structures. So what is array of structures? Before starting this array of structures, so let's recall the previous class. Array of structure. What is a structure? Structure is of heterogeneous data type. Means if you want to group different data types under one single name with the arrays concept, you can't do that. But you can group through structures. So how to declare a structures? By using the struct keyword and the structure name, you can declare the structure members. So now suppose in the previous example, in the last class we have seen, if you want to enter the data for two students, so what you have done, after semicolon, after writing the members, after semicolon or else before closing the semicolon, E1. So first student data I have entered E1, second student E2 and third, if you want to enter third student, you have to write E3. So if you have 50 students data to enter, so what you will do? Comma, E4, E5, E6, so on, E50, like that will you do? So that is not a good practice, right? So you can't do that. Certainly we need an array again. So this session we will see how to declare like this by using array of structures. So consider the array. Suppose if I have 3 students data, this is an array. 0, 1 and 2 with the index positions. And I want to store 3 students data. So what I will do? After like this I will declare E of 3. Okay. So here, so this is of E of 0, E of 1 and E of 2. So we are entering 3 students data. So again a memory will be allocated for the first student. So first student consists of, this is 0 at the rate. So here it will store roll number, name, marks of the first student. Next, this one will be marks of the second student, his roll number, name, marks. Like that array will be created. Suppose this is an array that is at the base address 1000. So next, this is at 2000 and this is at 3000. Let's consider. Again an array will be created for the third student. So I want to store individually. So this is the student 1, like E1, his roll number, name, marks. And E2, his roll number, name and marks. And this is for E3. His roll number, name and marks. Like that array will be created to store 3 students. Suppose if you want to enter 50 students data, just take it as, so this obviously you know this is a subscript. So 50 is the number of students. You want to enter 50 students data. So this is the sample program to calculate the sum and average of the students. So here the struct student char name of 50 int m1, m2, m3. So I have taken here 5 subjects marks and we are calculating the sum and average of those students. So int n, I enter the number of students. So how many students data I want to enter? I am calculating here, let's suppose 3 students or 2 students only. So runtime I can enter anything, even though the size is fixed. I can enter the student data of 3 students I am calculating, let's suppose. So how you will create like this? By using the array you can do. Instead of writing like this E1, E2, E3, so on, just simply put it in an array. S of n. Okay. So we need a loop again. For I is equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, scanf percentile s, s of I dot name, scanf percentile d. So here we are calculating for the marks of 5 students, subjects. So M1, M2, M3, M4 and M5. Okay. So all are array. So we are calculating for how many students? 3 students data. 3 students. So it is represented with index position. So suppose when I is 0. When I is 0, we are calculating for the first student. So it is S1 of S of 0 dot M1, address of S of 0 dot M2, address of S of 0 dot M3, S of 0 dot M4, S of 0 dot M5. So we are calculating the 5 subjects marks of the first student. So next we will calculate the sum of the student 5 subjects marks. So how you will calculate sum is equals to a plus b plus c. If I ask you to calculate the average is equals to sum by 5. So the same way, but here we are using arrays. So it is s of I dot sum by 5. So average is s of I dot average. Suppose when I is 1, 1 less than n. So 1 less than 3. See how many students we are calculating? We are calculating for 3 students. So 1 less than 3. Condition true. So it is s of 1 dot name. That means we are calculating we are giving input for the second student. Next, if suppose again when I becomes 2 less than 3. Condition true. 2 less than 3, condition true. Means we are calculating for the third student. So how you can say that? So if there are 3 students, 0, 1, 2. Total elements are 3. But index position starts from 0. Same way. So we are calculating if S1 of 0 means the first student data. S1 of 1 means we are entering the second student data. S1 of 2 means we are calculating for the third student data. So it is after printing again we need a loop for I is equals to 0. So suppose I is equals to 0. See this this for loop 0 less than 3. Condition true. Printf the name and roll number are name, average, name, sum and average of the first student. If when I is 1, so what we will print? The name, average, name, sum of the second student. Suppose when I is 2, we will print the name, sum and average of the third student. Like that we will print the data by using the arrays of structures. Suppose in the same previous example we will see struct student char name of 50 int roll number. Suppose a question is asked like this: read and print the details of 3 students. Int roll number, float, marks, S of 3. In the previous case, what we have done? E1, E2, E3. Instead of writing like that, or else if I ask you to calculate for read and print the details of the 50 students, what you will do? E1, E2, E3, E4, so on, 50. So no, you can't do that. We have arrays of structures. This is just simply put under array of structures. So S of 3 means I am calculating for 50 students. If I ask you to calculate for 10 students, S of 10. So obviously it is an array of structures. We need a loop. So why we need a loop? It's an array. You will write a for loop. For I is equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Now scanf percentile S, percentile D, percentile F. Why percentile S? Percentile represents the name of the array. Percentile D represents the roll number. Percentile F represents the marks. Comma, address of which variable we have taken? S1 or S of I dot name, comma, we should not give address for the name. Okay, S of I dot roll number. Here you will give address, comma, S of I dot marks. Like that you will give the input. So if you want to print the same, again take a for loop. For I is equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Printf percentile S, percentile D, percentile F, comma, S of I dot name, S of I dot roll number and S of I dot marks. While giving a string or as an input, we should not give the address. Why? Because string already know the base address of the array. This is array of structures. Next we will see pointers to structures. So what is a pointer to structure? First we will declare a structure. A pointer to struct is a variable that refers to the structure variable. Same way, we will declare a structure by using the struct type var1. Here we have taken the members of the structures as var1, var2 and var3. Variable 1, variable 2 and variable 3. This type refers to the data type. You can then declare a variable of this derived type. Suppose here we have taken the declaration struct type where you can then declare a pointer variable and then store the address of var. Struct type pointer ptr is equals to address of variable. So what a pointer holds? if I write like this, int pointer p, what is the rule for the pointer variable? If you want to use a pointer in your program, just first you need to initialize the value. So because why? Pointer holds the address of another variables. Pointers holds the address of another variable. So in this concept, pointers to structures, how to access members using the pointer of structures. So first we will define the structure. The first rule is we will define the structure. Next, second one is declare the structure variables, and third one is declare the pointer variable, and fourth one is initialize the pointer variable, and fifth one is access the members. How to access the members of a structure? We can access the members of the structure by using the dot operator. But when comes to the pointers to structure, you will use the arrow operator to access the members of the structure. So first we will see this. Define the structure. How you will define the structure? See here. Struct student. I'll take another example. Struct student int roll number char name. Like that you can declare the structure or define the structure. Next, declare the structure variables. Declare the structure variables. How to declare the structure variables? In the previous session I have discussed. This is just a template. Memory will not be allocated. If you want to allocate the memory for your executions, so you have to declare the variable. So I'll declare the variable. I have declared the variable. Okay, my variable is S1. Next, declare the pointer variable. So you will declare the pointer variables by using the data type. So here we will take the data type as struct student only. So after int main, one thing we can do, int pointer p comma s1. Declare the pointer variable. Yes, pointer variable declaration is done. What a pointer holds? Pointer holds the address of another variable, right? So initialize the pointer variable. So we have to initialize. P is equals to, what you will write here? It's a pointer variable. Pointer holds only the addresses. So now pointer holds this complete thing, like p is equals to address of s1. P is equals to address of x1. And access the members. How to access the members of the pointer? We can use the arrow operator. So it is, if I use the arrow operator to access the members of the pointer, it is P2 roll number. Generally, normally you will access to with the dot operator. You can also access, but as we are referring through pointers, it's better to use the arrow operator. P dot roll number, P, like that you will access, but it is pointers to structure. So you will use P2 roll number, P2 name, and P2 marks. Like that you will access the members of the structure. So if you follow these points, it's very easy to declare a pointer to structure, and how to access the members of the structure will be clear. So first thing you need to do is you have to define your structure, and after defining the structure, it's not completed because it's just a template. Like said, we need a structure variables, because structure, with the help of structure variables only memory will be allocated. So I have declared the structure variables. Then declare the pointer variable. Declare the pointer variable. Yes, pointer variables are already declared or also declared. Next, we have to initialize this pointer variables. Pointers holds addresses. So here what a pointer holds? Pointer holds the address of this complete structure. So p is equals to address of s1. Now how you can access? With an arrow operator you can access. That is pointers to structures. The same, this question is calculating the gross salary of an employee. using array of structures. So in the previous case, we have seen array of structures. Example also we have discussed. So how an array holds, suppose if I want to store 3 students data, you can, instead of writing E1, E2, E3, you can directly go for array of structures. So this sample program represents the, it's for calculating the gross salary of an employee. It's very easy. Like if you understand the concept of arrays, how to use array in structures. So name, roll number and gross salary of an employee consists of basic salary, HA, DRA and GS. Generally we have seen this program while discussing in sequence programs. So basic salary, HRA, DRA and GS. So here he has taken E of 100. What is E of 100 represents? E of 100 represents, so means here we want to calculate the data or the gross salary for 100 employees. If you want to use the normal structure concept like E1, E2, E3, so on, E99, E100. So it's different, right? You can't define your structure variables like that. So for that you will use array of structures concept. So directly you can declare by using E like this declaration, E of 100. Int main struct employee of E of 100, printf enter number of employees, scanf. Even though we have taken the size as fixed for 100 employees, you can change your data based on your convenience. For suppose I will calculate the gross salary only for 10 employees or for 5 employees. So in the runtime I will write scanf percentile d comma address of n. So I will calculate only for 5 employees. For enter the employee details. For I is equals to 1, I less than 5, it is 1 less than 5, condition true. So what is it? It is array of structure. So E of 0 represents the first employee data. Next, E of 1 represents the second employee data. E of 2 represents the third employee. E of 4 represents the fourth employee. And E of 5 represents the fifth employee data. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 employees data you can enter by using this for loop. So it is an array of structures. Obviously you have to write the for loop. For I is equals to 1, I less than n, I plus plus, scanf based on the declaration you have taken. Here name I have taken, roll number I have taken, basic salary, HRA, DA as declared as float data type. Name is a string. So as it is a string type, you have to take percentile s as the format specifier. Roll number is an integer, so I have taken percentile d as the format specifier. Basic salary, HRA, DRA, DA and GS we will calculate later. But the inputs here are basic salary, HRA and DA. All the three are of float type. So you have to use the format specifiers percentile f. And gross salary, how to calculate the gross salary? It is basic salary plus HRA plus DA. So it is also E of I dot GS is equals to E of I dot basic salary plus E of I dot HRA plus E of I dot DA. So like that you can write. So if I is 0 or we have taken I is from 1. So E of 1 dot GS, E of 1 means we are calculating for the first employee. So the same you will print on your screen. So that's all for this session. In the next session, I am going to talk about nested structures and self-referential structures in C.